Upbeat, intriguing historical music starts and fades into the background. Hey history buffs, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story of epic proportions, a tale of genius, rivalry, and the dramatic final act of one of history's greatest empires. We all know the name Hannibal Barca, the legendary Carthaginian general who crossed the Alps with elephants and terrorized Rome for over a decade. He was the boogeyman Roman mothers used to scare their children. He won battle after battle, most famously at Cannae, where he annihilated a massive Roman army. For years, it seemed like nothing could stop him. So, the million-dollar question is, how did this seemingly invincible general ultimately fail? How did Carthage, a mighty maritime empire, fall from grace? The answer lies in one climactic, world-changing confrontation, the Battle of Zama. To understand Zama, we need to meet Hannibal's Roman counterpart, a military prodigy named Scipio. While Hannibal was running circles around Roman armies in Italy, Scipio was learning. He studied Hannibal's tactics, his brilliant flanking maneuvers, and his use of combined arms. Instead of fruitlessly chasing Hannibal in Italy, Scipio did something audacious. He convinced the Roman Senate to let him take the fight directly to Carthage's doorstep in North Africa. It was a high-stakes gamble. This move forced Carthage to recall their greatest asset, Hannibal, from Italy to defend the homeland. After 15 years away, the legendary general was finally coming home, but not in triumph. He was returning to save his city from the brink of destruction. The stage was set in 202 BC on the plains of Zama, near Carthage. Two of the greatest military minds in history were about to face off. Hannibal, the seasoned veteran, had an army that included his battle-hardened mercenaries from Italy, local Carthaginian levies, and a terrifying force of 80 war elephants. On the other side, Scipio had a disciplined Roman army, but his secret weapon was his superior cavalry. Bolstered by his Numidian ally Massinissa, a former Carthaginian ally who had switched sides, this cavalry advantage would prove to be the decisive factor. The battle began with Hannibal unleashing his elephant corps, a shock-hando tactic that had worked so many times before. But Scipio was prepared. He had studied Hannibal. Instead of forming his legions in their typical solid checkerboard formation, Scipio arranged them in columns with wide lanes running through them. As the elephants charged, the Roman soldiers blew loud horns, creating a terrifying noise that confused some of the beasts. For the elephants that did charge forward, the Roman soldiers simply opened ranks, funneling the massive animals harmlessly through the lanes to the rear of the army, where they were dealt with by It was a stroke of genius. Hannibal's primary shock weapon was neutralized almost immediately. With the elephants out of the picture, the infantry lines crashed into each other in a brutal, grinding fight. For a time, Hannibal's experienced veterans held their own and even began to push the Romans back. But while the infantry was locked in a bloody stalemate, the real battle was happening on the flanks. Scipio.'s and Massinissa.'s superior cavalry quickly routed the weaker Carthaginian horsemen and chased them from the field. This is where Scipio's discipline truly shone. Unlike many generals whose victorious cavalry would get carried away in pursuit, Scipio's horsemen regrouped and executed a perfect maneuver. They wheeled around and charged into the rear of Hannibal's infantry, just as Hannibal had done to the Romans at Cannae. The Carthaginian army, now trapped between the Roman legions in the front and the Roman cavalry in the back, was completely encircled. The result was a slaughter. The Carthaginian army was shattered. Hannibal himself barely managed to escape the battlefield. The defeat at Zama was the end. Carthage was forced to accept a humiliating peace treaty, surrendering its fleet, its overseas territories, and paying a massive indemnity to Rome. Its days as a great power were over. Hannibal's incredible military career, which had seen so much victory, ended in a single, decisive defeat. The Battle of Zama didn't just end the Second Punic War. It set Rome on the path to becoming the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. A legacy that would shape the next 1,000 years of Western civilization. And that's the incredible story of how Hannibal was finally defeated and the Carthaginian Empire was brought to its knees. It's a powerful lesson in strategy, adaptation, and how even the greatest can be overcome. What do you think was the biggest factor in Hannibal's defeat? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button. And do forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you do miss our next historical deep dive. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.